Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, PEP just filed an 8K report, and I'm seeing some positive signals about their earnings. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. This filing gives us a peek into People's Bancorp of North Carolina's latest financial performance for the first quarter of 2026. So what we have here is a Form 8K filing from People's Bancorp of North Carolina. Incorporated, think of this like a company telling the world about something important that just happened. In this case, they are sharing their earnings results for the very first quarter of 2026. They are doing this by releasing a press release, which is included as an exhibit with this filing. This part, item 2.02, is all about the company's financial health and how it performed. People's Bancorp of North Carolina, which we will call the company for short, put out a press release on the 20th of April 2026. This release talks about their first quarter earnings for 2026. Now, press releases like this often contain what are called forward looking statements. These are basically predictions or educated guesses about what might happen in the future. The company includes a warning with these statements, and it is really important they say that actual results could turn out to be quite different from what they are predicting. So it is good to keep that in mind. The press release itself is attached as Exhibit 99A to this report. This exhibit is the actual press release. While it contains important financial information, the filing explicitly states that this information is furnished, not officially filed. What this means is that it is for your information, but the company is not taking on all the same legal responsibilities for it as they would for other parts of their official SEC filings. They are not saying that this information is guaranteed to be perfectly accurate in a legal sense, and it will only be considered part of another filing if that other filing specifically says to include it. Now, let us talk about those forward-looking statements in more detail. The company is reminding everyone that any statements in this report that are not about past events should be treated as predictions about the future. They are using these statements because of something called safe harbor provisions in securities laws. These provisions are there to protect companies from lawsuits if their future predictions do not quite come true, as long as they have been honest about the risks. The company uses words like expect, anticipate, estimate, and believe to signal these forward-looking statements. They are basically saying, hey, pay attention, things could change. They strongly advise us not to put too much faith in these predictions, because many factors could make the actual results very different. They list some of the big things that could rock the boat. Changes in how interest rates are performing are a major factor, especially for a bank. What management decides to do with their business strategy is also key, and of course the overall economic conditions in the country in different regions, and even locally, can play a huge role. Plus, any new laws or regulations can shake things up. The company is also making it clear that they do not plan to update these predictions if new events happen or circumstances change later on. They also recommend that we check out other documents they file with the Securities and Exchange Commission, because those filings might have more details about the risks they face. Before we go, let us look at the company itself. People's Bancorp of North Carolina Incorporated, or PEBK as it is known by its ticker symbol, is in the financial services sector, specifically as a regional bank. They have a market capitalization of about $225 million, a price to earnings ratio of 11.7, and employ around 268 people. Recent news headlines suggest loan growth is helping their profits and widening their net interest margin, which means they are making more money on the difference between what they earn on loans and what they pay on deposits. This also indicates their loan portfolio is growing. Some reports even mention net income from continuing operations a bit earlier in April. We also saw a bit of increased short interest recently, which means some traders are betting the stock price will go down. However, the stock has seen some significant gains over the past 6 months, going up about 25.6%. This suggests that despite the short interest, many investors are optimistic about the company's performance. Looking at institutional ownership, major players like Wellington Management Group, BlackRock, and Vanguard Group have significant stakes, holding nearly 20% of the company's shares combined. This indicates a high level of confidence from large financial institutions. Finally, the report is signed by Jeffrey N. Hooper, who holds the important position of Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. This signing confirms that the company is officially submitting this report. What we see here is a company that seems to be doing relatively well in the current market. As indicated by the news about loan growth and widening margins, the forward-looking statements, while needing caution, are standard for these types of filings. The biggest takeaway is that People's Bancorp of North Carolina is sharing its positive quarterly results, but as always, investors should do their homework and consider all the risks involved. The fact that major institutions are holding large chunks of the stock suggests a level of stability and confidence from the market. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded, like, comment, subscribe, and join our Discord for more insights.